Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the Third. Last time, we completed the arena in Grancel, and Joshua has joined us. Which is just, like, yeah, Joshua is excellent, and we'll be going over him actually pretty soon. I just want to see if the spring has refilled itself yet. It looks like it has, that's good. So everyone has their own reactions to Joshua being back. I don't remember any of them being particularly amazing reactions. But, okay, I'm actually going to be using the CP heal here on these two, and we'll see the reason in a moment. Oh, hey, Josette's here now. Well, yeah, looking on the bright side, as long as Joshua is present. So, Joshua is pretty much entirely unchanged from Trails in the Sky SC, which is a good thing because Joshua was one of the best party members in that game. He is a fast glass cannon, focusing on speed, strength, and having decent arts casting as well, but he's a bit weak defensively and also in the HP departments. He also still has Phantom Raid as his S-Craft, even though you can choose either of these, but I think they're worse. Phantom Raid hits everything on the field. There aren't a lot of S-Crafts that do that, so the few that do are very valuable. And in terms of his augment, he starts out with Action 2, which is great. Also Mind 2 and Attack 2. A lot of good quartz just to begin with. And it even gives him all of this stuff. However, if I rearrange things, I will probably be able to get Clock Up EX and Clock Down, though it might require me to give up Blind on Kevin. Oh, I got Attack 3. And actually, I might actually put that on Julia. Also, Joshua's remote abilities speed up, but only by 3% compared to Mueller, so it's, yeah, still worse. Agility plus 10%, arts defense minus 25%. So overall, I actually think Mueller's remote ability is better, but Joshua's much better in the active party, so him having not as good of a remote ability definitely helps out there. And I did say that I would make a fried phoenix with that tender poultry I got. Speaking of things I said I'd do, yeah, these are the Darkbringer's item drops, and I guess stealing from it doesn't count as me getting any of those. Yeah, of all of those, Attack 3 is probably the one I prefer the most. Mind 3 is the only other one I'd really want. Defense 3 might be kind of good, but I can get Earthwall in other ways. Speaking of which, I've changed up my augment so Kevin now has Earthwall, and Joshua now has Clock Up EX and Clock Down. Also, Reese, I've taken Scent off of her because we're going to be going past regular enemies now. And I'm putting Josette here because I'm going to partially give her her wish of going on a date to Grancel with Joshua, except that Kevin and Reese are there just to make sure she knows that this isn't a real date. So, the best way to get where we need to go is to warp to Stardoor 1. I should probably check the amount of battles I've had too, although I'm probably nowhere near close to 100. 67, yeah, we're still quite a long way off. If you want to grind that out, you actually can get that now if you really want to. Well, that's ominous. And the music also got ominous. Someone really knows how to give people a scare. This seems to be quite an old castle, so it's certainly fitting for something like this. I'd personally dock points for overdoing the theatrics, however. What should we do? Should we head in right away? We could, but only after we go and grab Julia. She's the one who's most concerned about the people in the castle, and she'll know its layout better than any of us, too. Oh, that's true. Let's return to the garden for now, then. I mean, Joshua went through the castle disguised as a maid, so probably he knows the layout, but anyway. Yeah, this thing that I wanted to show off, it actually will not let you into the castle until you put Julia in your party, and that's why I didn't use Julia last time, and why I used Josette, because I knew that Julia was going to get some forced screen time at this point. And with that, let us head inside The distorted Grancel Castle. Well, we already know there's a monument here we haven't activated yet. Well, there doesn't seem to be anyone inside. We're not alone, though. Be careful, they are gathering. It's more ghosts! Here comes the welcoming party. Oh goddess, grant peace to these poor lost souls. And it's just a bunch of banshees that we've already fought before. Oh, I don't have information on this group, I need to swap information onto someone. That always gets kind of annoying, having to swap information around, but it's just kind of how things go with this game. I put the Crimson Eye back on Kevin because I sort of want him to be casting. You can Flare Arrow one of them. In fact, Joshua could also Flare Arrow. Okay, I don't have anything like Firebolt EX, unfortunately. I mean, everyone else is casting, so I can't really chain right now. But yeah, that wasn't even Crimson Eye boosted. These things are actually a lot weaker than they used to be. I mean, they're still the same, but it's just we've got a lot stronger, is what I meant. I mean, don't let them gang up on you, but they're still really not that much of a threat. Also, I think Joshua has something new here. Supreme Jewel Strike. Even more enhanced Jewel Strike that always poisons. Always should be in giant air quotes, though. It at least worked on that thing, but there are a surprisingly large amount of enemies that are immune to poison, and because of that, there's kind of a meme among people who played this game and used Joshua, and that's just resist. Because you will see that resist showing up very often when you use Supreme Jewel Strike. But I mean, at least on things that are vulnerable to poison does always work. And as I said earlier, poison's pretty effective in this game, because of its percentage-based damage. Ugh, that wasn't what I wanted to find. Where has everyone gone? I don't know, but we should start looking right away. Even if no one's here, we might be able to find some kind of clue as to where they are now. I can only hope so. In particular, we should focus our search on the throne room, royal guard room, royal keep, and the sealed area. Those seem the most likely areas to house clues. But first, let's activate this monument, where we can heal and also warp directly into the castle later. And I want to show something kind of interesting about the castle warp system later on. And also something a little annoying about detection. It's completely useless here because there's no map. So if I can swap that out for information, which is still on somebody else, I think, I will do that. So I'm going to have to quickly go back and get my information quartz. After having activated this monument, though, we can go to synthesize quartz, and we can make EP Cut 2 and EP 2 now, which are excellent quartz to have, because not only do they really help with your casting, they also give a decent assortment of elemental effects that can help get some good art onto you. Also, this thing, Strike. This gives any of your physical attacks a 10% chance to be a critical hit. This is the only way to actually get crits in this game outside of critical turns, and it's very, very effective on people like Julia and Mueller who like to be in chain crafts. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those. Also, Cast 2. It's a very hefty price to pay, 200 Time Sepith, but we're going to have access to a lot of Time Sepith soon. So yeah, we can also get Deathblow 1 and Deathblow 2. Deathblow 2s are a one-time use guaranteed kill. It's hard to know what enemies aren't immune to it though, so it can be a bit of a risky endeavor. Deathblow 1 can be kind of okay if you just want that, you know, chance of getting rid of enemies instantly, especially on someone like Joshua who has a full field hitting S-Craft. But Cast 2, you definitely want to grab this as soon as you can, because just the effect of that is going to be immense when it comes to your cast time. But I also really want EP Cut 2, and also EP 2 is not bad either, so I'll take that for now. But again, we are going to be getting more Sepith soon. Yeah, Reese can swap out her EP1 and her main slot for that. The good thing about the main slot, or like the middle slot in the augment, is that it affects every line, so it can be good to put a quartz with a variety of elemental affinities in there. So Grancel Castle, we can go into a lot of places in the castle, but you want to be careful because a lot of them are populated by enemies. This is where, I think like the intelligence division was analysing stuff before. Tirabalm. How many chests could a chest checker check if a chest checker could check chests? It's not quite the tongue twister they probably hoped that would be, but still. Actually, no, wait, this was the intelligence division's quarters. There's a ghost there. There's also a switch that we can't actually use. So there I was able to demonstrate that if Vanish actually kills something, you still get its experience and item drops. So if you know that an attack will kill something and it's the last enemy left and it's a Vanish turn, you still want to take the Vanish turn. So down here, there are actually quite a few chests in here, and not that. That looks like a chest, but it's just part of the scenery. Yeah, there's one in there, though. I'm going to go ahead and get this Banshee out of the way.
That's that. Let's move out.
And Joshua, voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, as always. Reusing his clips from the Sky games, though. Repellent Dish. In an infinite number of parallel universes, I have more treasure to give you. Not in this one, though. I guess that means start a new game for more treasure. Repellent Dish. Let me see what that is. Defense plus 10%. If this was one of the Erebonia games, you would think that would give like an art reflect or something. Because there are actually weird dishes that do that in those games. Tirabalm. Have you had a good meal in you? Got your weapons polished? Taken a bath? No, you haven't taken a bath. Yeah, when do RPG protagonists get to take baths? Well, actually they do in some of the Sky games, because there are hot springs that restore your CP. The treasury doors are locked, so yeah, that's where the sealed area would be. We can't get in there right now, which is why I wanted to check this area first. But if we come up here, Queenly Cookie, and we get the recipe for it too. This is a nice chest. This is also a haiku. Chest, 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 chest. I love haikus that are silly like that. Fluffy Crepe. 8 of 36. I shall await your answer at midnight. From my heart to yours, Jubilee. It almost sounds like it's part of an entirely different story, but no, it's the same one. And here's where you had that awkward banquet involving Richard and Junan when they were trying to marry off Claudia to somebody. What were you hoping to find? One of the Septarians? Well, apparently we know that there's an 8th one out there, but the chest are to be believed. And yeah, this door here leads to a different set of areas, but I don't think there are any... No, there are no chests in here. That's just the room where Joshua prepared to disguise as a maid. So, with all of that, let's check upstairs. Now, upstairs is actually pretty interesting. There aren't a lot of chests in the rooms in either corridor. We can go into what would normally be the throne room for you. Step out of that throne. The queen sits there, to somewhat paraphrase Final Fantasy 15. Flicker is still an amazing craft.
For the sake of my master.
All of Joshua's crafts are amazing. But he's not required to be in your party most of the time now. Glam Choker Plus, 14 of 36. Before it fell into such a state, its owner was known far and wide even before the Orbital Revolution. He was a carpenter of unparalleled skill, and he was frequently commissioned to bring life to all manner of things. We can kind of get a little bit of context on some of the later parts of that story now.
Justice must always prevail.
Okay, let's head out of the throne room. None of the rooms in this hallway have any chests in them, so you can safely ignore them. Can't safely ignore this guy, though.
That's that. Let's move out.
Just getting that recipe into the log as well as healing Reese. We are starting to get to the point where Kevin's Sacred Breath, that 2,500 HP healing is really not that much. But okay, this room right here. That Banshee in particular, I'm going to actually make a save right now. This is a lot easier if you're allowed to run from fights, but since I'm not, I have to make a save. This Banshee encounter in the overworld has the potential to be slime lumps. And it was slime lumps. Okay, Joshua, go. I got very lucky there that that one didn't decide to flee. Also, I forgot to put on Josette as a remote ability. If I had, this would have been even better. So, this is going to be less lucrative than it could be, but it's still going to be very lucrative. So watch this.
That's that. Let's move out.
Look at all that Sepith. Especially time. That is enough to afford one cast one. Also, I need to come in here and wait for this pearl earring. 3 of 36. At best, most chose to describe its features in simple terms. A dark cherry red wood frame with a steel that was painstakingly etched end to end with fleuret. Huh. Oh, it's about a chest. It's actually about a chest and a carpentry shop that made the chest. This is actually my first time realizing that, and I've played this game several times already. But yeah, if you go out and back into this room, it will respawn that Banshee, and this is an excellent way, after, again, I take my own advice, and put Josette in the support slot. But this is an excellent way if you go, for example, to this fight and recharge Joshua's CP with Reese. This is an excellent way to farm Time Sepith. And if you're playing on Nightmare, you will want to farm Time Sepith. Because of, the boss of this chapter is coming up. We're getting very close to the end of the chapter itself, and the boss of this chapter on Nightmare is a very brutal roadblock, and you will want to have Action 2 and Cast 2 on as many people as possible for that fight. Now, in general, you don't even need 200 CP on Joshua, just 100 is enough. So now with CP restored on Joshua, I can fish for slime lumps again. And so yeah, didn't get them, so I'm going to have to reload that save because I don't want to have a run on my record, and I also don't want to get too, you know, over leveled when it comes to fighting this battle over and over again. Another slime lump battle down, this time with Josette's remote ability on. And we get even more attack food. That, I think, will be enough for now. But I'm going to use that to make 2 Cast 2 quartz. And I'll put those on Kevin and Joshua. Cast 2 cuts down cast time to only 1/3 of what it would normally be. So it's a 66% reduction, which is pretty insane. Cast 1 reduces cast time by 40%. Now, there is technically a Cast 3 in the game, but it's a very, very high level quartz that you only get towards the very end of the game. But that one cuts down cast time by 95%, but also comes with a few significant drawbacks.
For the sake of my master!
Also, I just reminded myself, I need to put the strike quartz on, oh right, you can't have sleep if you have strike, so I'll have to swap that out to, I guess, HP 2. Even though it means you have a pitiful assortment of arts. I don't really use art for Julia that much anyway, even though she's okay at it. I just really like having strike on her. It synergizes quite well with her restricted space slots too. Zerum Powder. This is the only room in this corridor that has a chest in it, but Zerum Powder is very, very good. There's a crab in here. You stole its home, you monster. Well, it was worth a Zerum Powder. Fully revives and also restores 100 CP, so if Kevin goes down in particular, using one of those on him will not only bring him back, but it will also give him the ability to immediately use Grail Sphere, which can be life-saving in boss fights. Now, I should also mention that there are no chests in this room, but that Banshee behind the bar in this room, that Banshee can also have slime lumps in its encounter, but it's a lot more awkward to get preemptive strikes on that Banshee. You can't even turn the camera in here, so yeah, just imagine trying to get behind that thing without it getting a preemptive strike on you. So I much prefer farming one in the library. Eek! Stay away! Stay away! That was a human's voice, wasn't it? So there's someone still safe here? We should hurry and find them right away. Or, you know, maybe we could just walk around and do other stuff instead, because up here there's another star door. Bring to me the boy with eyes of amber and the princess with an indomitable will. Only then shall the door open. We have one of the requirements for that, but not the other, and you can probably tell who the other requirement is. Oh, hi there. Didn't even see you at all.
That's that thing. Let's move out.
Okay, great, Joshua levels up. Just gonna go ahead and heal a little bit, though. What did I do to deserve this? Stay back! Don't come any closer, please! What is this curious spectacle? Crap, I'd forgotten all about him. So had I. I suppose it's no surprise he ended up here, however. Sucks to admit, but you're right. And it sucks even more, because I've got a whole lot of questions I want to ask him, and the only way I'm getting him is to bail him out. Get away from him! If you're unable to leave behind your attachment to this world, allow us to help you. What are you what are you wonderful, angelic, model human beings doing here? Save the sweet talking for later. First, we need to take these things out. Just stay there and don't get in our way. Okay, I would say that I would S-break with Joshua here, but he can't S-break right now, so instead I'm going to go with Reese. And why not? Let's just see the animation again. I love this animation so much. It's just, yeah, a lot of people agree with me that this is one of the best S-craft animations in the Sky Trilogy. And it also kind of reminds me of the Summon Planar Ally spell in Dungeons & Dragons, which, if you read it as written, it has some interesting implications, but a lot of potential for the DM to troll as well, but haven't really seen it used much in Critical Role. It'd be kind of interesting if it was. But yeah, let's just get this over with. Also, one of them fell asleep.
My thanks to thee.
I mean, they give some time, Sepith, but nowhere near as much as the slime lumps do. I'm alive. Thank you so much. You saved... Eek! Now it's time for you to answer some questions for us. Is there anything you'd like to ask him, Captain? As it so happens, yes. How exactly did you come to be here? Gilbert, I believe? Do you know anything regarding how the capital came to be this way? No, I don't. I just woke up and found myself in the port here. I don't know why or how. I went into town, but there was no one there, just a bunch of weird, armored knights. I started running away from them, and the next thing I knew, I found myself in this castle. So you were sent to a different place than us, huh? Too bad the city had already gone weird by the time you woke up. I was kind of banking on you witnessing whatever happened here. Well, boo-hoo for you. I've got something I want to ask you too. Is Ouroboros involved in this? So you're here too, Joshua? Bah, of course not. If they were, I obviously would have been the first to know. More like the last. What should we do with him, Kevin? Disarm him and tie him up? It's fine, he's not worth the trouble. He doesn't seem to know anything worthwhile, and he'd just get in our way, to be honest. I suppose that's true. Well, that's all the business we have with you. Kindly remove yourself from our sight. Think you can make me out to be some kind of useless fop, do you? Well, you'll regret this. When I find a way out of this place, you're going to be begging me to share it with you. But I won't! You can wander here lost for all eternity for all I care. Gilbert is just inspires sweat drops, the character. I can't help but feel a little concerned. I hope he doesn't end up causing any trouble after being left on his own. I'm sure it'll be fine. He seems like the type who could worm his way out of any situation you hand him. I believe we've wasted enough of our time on him. We should resume exploring the castle. In a sense, I kind of wish Gilbert did join you, because, I mean, he'd be kind of a fun joke character to use. I mean, we already have Josette, and Josette's practically a joke character, so having another one wouldn't be, you know, a huge deal. And again, I feel like he'd be kind of fun as a party member.
Justice must always prevail.
I mean, maybe he could even get some development, you know, sometimes having a bumbling comic relief villain be forced to work with the heroes for a bit can lead to some interesting situations. I know they did that a bit with Team Rocket in the Pokemon anime a few times. What are you still doing here? You're a priest, for Adios' sake. Okay, so there is another chest up here on the balcony somewhere. Yeah, we never got to go down these stairs because the Gilbert cutscene interrupted us. Hi, Skulls. Let's just walk around you a little bit. There we go. Attack 2. Hey, Father, I have some new Stragers inside. Would you kindly come in and try them on? That mimic was clearly designed to trap Estelle, and because of that, Josh was going to brutally slaughter it. But that's everything on the roof right now. In here, though, I believe there are a few things for us. Yeah, there's a chest in here. Haze. You've really opened me up to new possibilities. Yet another pun. Haze is interesting, though, because Haze... enemies become unaware of presence. It basically makes getting preemptive strikes a lot easier. I'll see if there's someone who can really take that. All of Joshua's quartz are good. Oftentimes, these utility quartz end up going on my physical attackers because I don't really need that much in the way of arts on them. Like, really with the physical attackers, you just need action, attack, and maybe a status quartz or strike, and maybe move, and that's pretty much all you need. Though if you can get Clock RPX on physical attackers, I would definitely take that. Clock RPX is good no matter who casts it, well, as long as they don't have a bad speed stat. What? What the? Thank you for coming this far. I entrust this to you. Please, my... Who or what was that? A ghost? Perhaps not. There was something familiar about it. At the very least, it didn't seem like any ordinary ghost. That's all you have to say, I guess. But that's the treasury key. And with that, thank goodness for fast travel, because we can warp all the way back to the hall and get to where we need to use this key much faster. So let's go, that's not the treasury. This way leads to the treasury, down here. Okay, and past here, avoid the banshees. How close are we on battles to? 81, we've got 19 battles to go before we can unlock that, star door. The doors were unlocked. Is this some form of elevator? Yes, it connects the castle and a ruin 500 arge below it, but this doesn't make any sense. You're telling me, what's going on here? I'm not following. Well, when I first came to Labourle, Julia led me through this room and into the area below. But this isn't how this room was. It was way tidier. Indeed, to my knowledge, the room was put in order and then locked, and I was under the impression it was to remain that way. I have seen it this way once before, though. Yeah, so have I. It's exactly how I remember it being when we came here during the coup d'etat. That's what I was thinking of as well. Are you trying to suggest that we may have gone back in time? I find it impossible to believe that may have been the case, but how else could I explain this? Of course, I could be mistaken, and yet... Well, if we're gonna follow what that ghost seems to want us to do, then we'll keep it up and hope for more answers along the way. Time to climb on board and see what's waiting for us. Right. Well, I mean, we know the real reason this room looks this way is because they're reusing assets from the earlier Sky games, and they don't have a version of this room that's cleaned up. But let's not tell the characters that. They deserve to be, well, yeah, not driven insane by the fourth wall. As we've gone through all of Grancel Castle, I'll leave things off here, and we'll be seeing what's down that elevator next time as we end Chapter 2, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit interesting for the next video, and I hope you enjoy when I do so. So, see you all then, but I will say, at this point, especially if you're a Nightmare, I would recommend going to the library and farming slime lumps until you have enough Sepith for Action 2 and Cast 2 on the entire party. So, I will end things off here, and I'll see you all next time for the end of Chapter 2.